Normally, I'm pretty upbeat and happy and positive, but today it's time to get sad. And why are we getting sad? Because we're all done with the major chords. I'm now going to show you some minor chords. And minor chords are described as being sad, being melancholy. The saddest of all minor chords, Nigel?
In D minor, which I always find is really the saddest of all keys, really. I don't know why, but it makes people weep instantly to play a...
See? D minor, the saddest of all chords. Okay, here we go. So let's start learning some of these minor chords, and then I'll show you a song or help you through a song, and we can just keep going. I got a lot of stuff. I didn't know what direction I wanted to go, but obviously I figured it out because here we go. The direction is this way. D major, if you remember, is like this. The minor chords, we're changing one of the notes. I'll get into chord construction down the road. It's not important right now. Just learn the chords as I'm teaching them. So for D minor, same deal. The top two strings are X'd out. We don't want to hit these. The fourth string is open. The fingerings are a little different. So let's go from the first fret out. First finger, first fret, bottom string, high E. Oop. There we go. Then we move over to the second fret, second finger, and we're on the third string, the G string. Okay. And then the third fret, we're going to play the second string, the B string. You can either play it with your third finger or your fourth finger. It depends on what's easier for you. Some people have a problem trying to get that stretch going, so the fourth finger's easier. I kind of go back and forth. Depending on where I am in a song, I kind of play it both ways. So try with your third finger. If that doesn't work, go with your fourth. But here's the D. Sounds kind of upbeat, kind of positive, right? And then here is the D minor. See, it just adds that little bit of sadness or uncertainty to it. Happy. Yeah. So there's a D minor chord. I'm going to show you a couple more easy ones, and then next lesson we'll get into the slightly more difficult ones, I think. I want to keep this lesson kind of short. E minor is super easy. If you remember the E chord, you're playing 3 open strings and 3 strings just like this. There is your E. So all you're doing for E minor is taking off your first finger, your index finger. Can you hear the difference? Here's the E, kind of happy, kind of whatever. It's hard to... Here's the E minor. Here's E. Happy. Sad. There's your E minor chord. Last one I'll show you real quick is the A minor. If you remember the A chord, oh, that's so happy. I also keep repeating myself. Some people play it with the 2, 3, and 4 finger instead of the 1, 2, and 3. I don't do it that way, but for the minor chord, it would be easier, but I don't do it that way. The minor chord, it's almost the same chord. But it is that E shape, if you remember that E shape that we made, E major. If you move everything down one string, that is your A minor. Here's the A, nice and happy. Here's the A minor. Sad, very sad. So it's the E major shape, but down one string. One key concept you have to get is not only are we learning chords and making music, but you have to pay attention to what shapes is what they're called. What shapes your fingers are in, because those shapes repeat themselves over and over and over as you learn more guitar. So kind of pay attention. So if I say the E major shape, but move it down one string, there's your A minor. So keep that in mind. So there's 3 minor chords. I'll skip the last 4 for later, but the D minor, the A minor, and the E minor are the ones that you're going to see well, I won't say the most, but they're usually what I see the most. So that being said, let me show you one more song real quick with some chords. Don't need tab for this. Dead Flowers by the Stones. If you go to any open mic or any gathering of amateur musicians, chances are you're going to hear this song because it's easy. I don't even think there's a minor chord in the song. Maybe, I don't even know if there's one in the bridge. I don't think there's a minor chord in the song, and it's basically 3 chords over and over again. So I'm going to show you, before we dive right into it, I'm going to show you your first trick, your first flourish. This is a sort of flourish that is super common for anybody playing guitar. It's just a little movement, but it adds a whole lot of color to your chord. So we're going to stick with the D chord. And what we're going to do is we're going to add our pinky underneath our 3rd finger. So our pinky, everything stays the same, but we're going to add our pinky to the 3rd fret on the 1st string, the high E. Add your pinky, take off your pinky. Add your pinky, take off your pinky. So I believe that's a D sus4, D suspended 4. Don't worry about it, I'm just telling you what it's called. The other half to that flourish is still staying with the D chord. But now we're just going to remove our middle finger. Add our pinky. Remove our pinky. Remove our middle finger. Add our middle finger. So the 1st finger and the 3rd finger never move. All we're doing is either adding a pinky, taking it off, or taking off your 2nd finger and then re-adding it. It's just that bottom string we're adding a little color to. As you practice that, you'll be able to do it faster and faster, and it just adds a little color to it. So I'm just going to do the little flourish with the D. You're going to hear that over and over and over again. Professional songs, amateurs, it's one of those first little tricks you learn when you're playing chords, and it's just a real easy way to add some dynamic to your D chord. We're going to use that in Dead Flowers. Without further ado, let's start in a D. You know, it actually starts, if you see, the intro is a D sus2, which is that D chord with your middle finger off. So adding your pinky is the D sus4, don't worry about it. Removing your middle finger is the D sus2. So if you can see, it starts with the D sus2 right to the D. So I'm only playing my 1st and 3rd finger and then adding my middle finger to get me to the D chord. A chord, G to a D. Well, when you're sitting there in your silk upholstered chair, talking to some rich girl that you know, well, I hope you won't see me in my ragged company. You know I could never be alone. Take me down, little Susie, take me down. I know you think you're the queen of the underground, and you can every morning. Send me dead flowers by the mail. Send me dead flowers to my wedding. And I won't forget to put roses on your grave. Alright? I just added those little flourishes on the D. Didn't even use a minor chord, but I wanted to get those three out of the way. Subscribe. It'd be awesome. Click the other videos or whatever. Don't be shy. And we'll get through the other 4 minor chords next time. And we'll just build off it. But baby steps. Keep practicing.